Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, you know what I want to do here today is I want to, recap on a little things that happened in Nashville at the Nashville conference, some of the personal breakthroughs that I had, because quite honestly, this of all the events I've ever been to, in the last 25 years was the most transformational event that I've ever personally been to myself, okay? And this is why I say to people in our team that that's the business, guys. Like, if you want to move into a leadership role, you literally have to reschedule your life to get to these events, because that's where the breakthroughs happen. That's where the fog completely comes off, right? Literally. Like, you could listen to something in principle and think, yeah, I kind of get that. Yeah, I kind of get that. And then all of a sudden, poof, it's so clear as to what you need to do to take your business and your life to the next level that it's like literally the ABCs. Okay, well, you hear people when we first start off and we're kids, and there's that little song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Now, here's the interesting thing that happened. Somebody did that on stage because they wanted to have us as the audience realize that when you repeat something over and over and over, it becomes part of your DNA, right? So they said, they got up on stage and they went A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the whole crowd went H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, right? Because it's in our DNA, right? It's programmed into our subconscious mind, and it becomes an automatic thing, right? So what I really want to put out to you guys here, and if you're watching this on the replay, okay, I will tell you this. The internet is an amazing tool, okay? It's an amazing tool to be able to clone yourself. It's an amazing tool to create leverage. It's an amazing tool to hit a wide audience internationally, okay? But the glue that keeps everything together, guys, is the relationships belly to belly, person to person, okay? Now, I can tell you that my relationship with Rex Harris went to a completely different level, right? Because I was having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the team, right? I got a chance to really connect with Sonia. I had a chance to connect with Kevin Carroll and his wife, right? You can't do that on this, right? You can only get to a certain point on a Google Hangout. You can't give somebody a hug, right? You can't give somebody a hug. You can't feel their heartbeat, right? You can't have that type of powerful connection that you get when you're face to face with another person. Okay, now here was the really cool thing, is that what happens is that it's not just your team. Okay, what you'll find is that other people in the crowd, other people that are in that group of people, there was probably, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 people there at this event, but you connect with other leaders, you connect with other people, other like minds, and you can leave that event and now start to do what I call cross-pollination. Now, what is that? What's cross-pollination? That's when you resonate with another leader that's on another team. Okay, they're not even in your organization, but it doesn't matter. What matters is this, the connection, right? Because when you have a connection, in quantum physics, 1 plus 1 does not equal 2. It compounds. 1 plus 1 equals 11, right? And then you add another one and it's 33, right? So basically what happens here is if you get this concept, guys, if you understand what I'm talking about here, you will literally work around your whole life to make sure that you are at these quarterly conferences, right? Because that's where the breakthroughs happen. Okay, so last night, I was really, really tapped into the zone. I mean, sometimes, you know, you're as human beings, we go through this peak and the valley, the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang. The goal, obviously, is to try to keep it to more like this, so it's a steady eddy. It's not like right, because those are big crashes. So you don't want to be in euphoria and then depression, and then euphoria and then depression, right? Which can happen if you do not monitor your thoughts, words, and emotions. So you want to make it a goal to be more like this, okay, versus that and that, right? Because I've seen people that will have a crash and they'll be out of the game, guys, literally. They could be out of the game for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, or completely gone, flatline. I've seen people have to go on antidepressants because they have a crash so hard that it completely flatlines them. They can't even move. And I'm not kidding you. They're in bed. They can't move. That's called a physiological crash. So if you go into euphoria, the universe has to rebalance itself, okay? So if you're so high, like you're in heaven, the crash is really hard. And you don't know it until it happens for you, and then you're like, okay, now I know what Darren's talking about, okay? So, but the real true breakthroughs, okay, happen at the event. So I had a great connection with Chad Oxted, okay? Now Chad has an amazing story, okay, because this is an example, guys, of people that have literally drawn a line in the sand. Like he said it in his mind that he was going to change his life, and nothing and nobody was going to stop him. Nothing. Okay, so I hear people, they have an excuse. Oh, Darren, I can't go black card because, you know, I just don't have the money. You know, you don't know what my life is like. Oh, it's just so hard, right? Here was Chad, okay? He sold his TV. He sold his Blu-ray. He sold his CD player, all his CDs, his games, clothes that he had that didn't fit him. He even sold his car. Plus, he borrowed money from people. Every person that would lend him money, you know, everybody, anybody that he could get money from, he went to get the money, to go all in, okay? Now, here's what happened after that. As soon as he did that, he had his first $4,150 day. The moment that he drew a line in the sand, the moment that he threw his hat over the wall, he made over $4,000 in a day. That turned into an $8,000 month, and he used that story to propel him forward, like I talk about stories sell, facts tell, right? That story, right, has now produced a $20,000 month for him. Now, that's a guy that literally started from a flat line. That not only is he having a $20,000 month, but you can see it in his videos. You can see it in his conviction of his message because he went all in. Now, back in the days when they had the battles, they would send their troops onto shore and then they would burn the ships, right? There's no turning back. You burn the ships, there's no way to get home. Like, you're there, right? That's the deal. So you make it work. It's not like I'm going to see if this works. You make it work, right? Because you don't have any other possibility, right? When you're all in on your dream, it's not like you're going to try, right? You're going to do it, right? You're going to go through the emotions. You're going to go through that roller coaster. I can't hold my phone up in my hand like this and say, you know what, guys, I'm going to try to pick up my phone. I'm either going to pick the phone up or I'm not. There's no in between, right? I'm either going to pick up the phone or I'm going to leave it on my hand. There's no in between. It's one or the other, right? So what I want for you to understand here is that this, you know, it's going to be 90 days away, right? But you should already be thinking in your mind, it's at the end of July, and it's in Las Vegas. And I can tell you, based upon what I witnessed here in Nashville, okay? Guys, there's something magical that's happening right now with this company, okay? I don't know if it is some divine energy that is being put on this because of its global purpose, which is very, very possible. There was people on stage that 18 months ago were completely bankrupt, okay? That didn't even have enough money to buy food. They had to move home to live with their parents. Now, I want for you to understand the significance of this, because in 18 months, they've made over $500,000. $500,000 from bankruptcy. You know, another couple from bankruptcy to $750,000, right? In very, very short period of time, guys. I mean, there was one person that walked across the stage that in the course of their first, I don't know, I think it was like 5 months maybe, they already made $250,000, right? That's next level. And these are a lot of times people that don't even speak the language. They don't speak English. So what was their excuse? Think about it. They've got a system that's in English, okay? They don't speak English. They speak German or Portuguese, and they've made, in a 6-month period of time, $250,000. What does that say? What do you think about that when you think, here's somebody that is technically handicapped because the material that is being presented in all the training, all the websites, isn't even in a language that they speak. But yet 6 months later, they're walking across the stage as a $250,000 income earner. That's exciting. That's when you know that we have landed on something here that can not only change your life, not only can change your contacts' lives, but literally anybody. There was people that were on the stage that were in their early 20s, guys, 20s, that had completely turned their lives around. $250,000, $300,000, $500,000 that literally are just getting started with this company. Now, quite honestly, I've never seen that. I've been around this industry for 25 years, and I certainly have never seen that. I've never seen people that are that young, 20, 21, 22 years old, that in such a short period of time have made that type of income. I mean, I remember being with this one company, and I was one of 6 trainers in that company, and I was with that company for 5 years. Okay, 5 years, guys. Okay, and my residual check never peaked $4,000 a month, and I was one of the people that they edified as being, one of the peak performers in the company. But the way that those companies' marketing plans are structured, they're not structured for the average person to be able to make any significant income, right? You literally need a small country if you're going to make $1 million. A small country, guys, and I'm not joking, right? Like 80,000 people to become a millionaire, right? And for the average person, even if they're good, like I'm a really good recruiter, right? I had thousands and thousands of people in my organization within that company that I was a trainer for, and my check never got over $4,000 a month, right? Now, compared to the iPass and Empower program, in my 3rd month, I had a $25,000 a month, right? So what I want for you guys to really understand here, and I was talking about this in my video today with Dr. Lee Poulos, right? And that if you want to know where you are right here, so this is the time continuum, right? So here's where you were born, and then the timeline keeps on going, and let's say that here you are right here, okay? So what Dr. Poulos said to me, he said, Darren, if you want to know where you are today, just look at your thoughts 5 years ago. Now, at the time, I was vice president of marketing for his company. It was called Lifelong Communications. And when he pulled me into his office, he would always pull me into his office, and he would have like these profound, little nuggets to give me, right? He had this little treasure chest of these nuggets that he was going to share. And he said to me, he'd look up at the ceiling and he'd say, do you realize that you are where you are right now based upon your thoughts 5 years ago? And part of my consciousness left my body. Okay, it was one of these amazing experiences that I had, it was a transformational experience, guys. Part of my consciousness left my body, and I saw video of me writing on a piece of paper, I am, okay, the two most powerful words in the world, I am vice president of an international company doing international business. And poof, there I was in his office, vice president of marketing. He said, if you want to know where you're going to be in 5 years, just look at your thoughts today. And guys, that changed my life because I saw into the future. I saw myself as a millionaire at 35 years old. Now, what happened was at that time, on all the television commercials, okay, television, radio, newspapers, magazines, there was a campaign called Freedom 55. It was for London Life. Freedom 55, right? And all the commercials were about Freedom 55, being able to retire at 55 years old instead of 65 years old, right? And I was like, Freedom 55? I'm doing Freedom 35, right? So I walked around and I repeated this chant over and over and over as I was walking down the street. Freedom 35, Freedom 35. I'm a magnet. I'm a magnet. Freedom 35, Freedom 35. And every time that I wasn't talking to somebody and I was walking, I was chanting, Freedom 35, Freedom 35. I'm a magnet. I'm a magnet. Freedom 35, Freedom 35. And almost to the day that I turned 35 years old, I made my first $1 million. Now, is it coincidental? Is it a coincidence that all that stuff happened? That I saw the glimpse of the future? That I spoke about that the way that he taught me? And it happened like that? Is it a coincidence that I talk about the iPass program and how if you break inertia, okay, if you set it in your mind, what the formula that I tell everybody? 25 connections in any given day, minimum. Okay, that's the baseline. Hey Tom, how's it going? How's the day going so far? Hey Mary, how's it going? How's the day going so far? Hey Betty, how's it going? How's the day going so far? Okay, I get to 25. Okay, great. Next day. Now, a lot of those people will answer on day 2. Some will answer on day 3. But the next day, if I'm doing 25, and the next day I'm doing 25, they compound. Sometimes by day 7, 8, 9, you might have 50 or 75 connections, right? Now, I knew that if I did that, and I believed, okay, I believed, because here's the interesting thing. A lot of people can do that motion, they can do those connections, but internally they're actually going like this. They're pushing the money away because of what? Deservability, worthiness, self-love, and boundaries. So they're actually going like this to the abundance flow. They might even have the opportunity to bring somebody in until they have to talk about money, and then they get this queasy feeling in their stomach, and they don't know why, right? That's you pushing away the abundance flow, right? So it's important for you to realize that you've got to monitor your body, guys. You've got to monitor what's going on in here. How do I feel? Because if you feel queasy and you feel uneasy and you don't feel good when you talk about money, you're going to have to get that stuff out of your body. You're going to have to go through the Unleash the Alpha Within training and get through your surrender. And the challenge with most people is that this Pandora's box starts to bubble up. And they go, shh. and they push it back down. Okay? That's very common. Just so you know, that's very, very common. Now, if I told you that your gateway is on after that, that's when the gateway happens, right? So you have to just realize that, will you face your fears? Yes. Were you going to go through some Kleenex? Yes. You better freaking believe you will, right? But that's how you get to the next level. There is no escaping. You can't escape your reflection, guys. You can't. This is how the game works. The first level of the game is victimhood. That's when the world is doing stuff to you. Doing stuff to you. Right? It's all the world. It's all your parents. It's all your, your friends, your business partners that ripped you off, the government, the, whatever. It's always something else. Until you finally take responsibility for what's going on in here and what's coming out of here, and what are you writing into the reality, and what are you emotionally connected to. Because if you don't take responsibility, the pain gets worse, just so you know. The pain gets worse. The spiral goes down further. So if whatever's going on in your life right now is not enough to pop your Pandora's box, well, okay. Well, how about if you lose your house? Maybe that'll be enough. Oh, that's not enough? Okay, how about we get you in a head-on collision, you end up in the hospital. Is that enough? No? Okay. How about your dog dies? Is that enough? No? Is that not enough? It keeps on going until you finally surrender and relinquish and love yourself enough to feel worthy of that abundance flow, right? So what I want to do here, guys, today is I want to I want to just sort of reach out to each person here individually, and this is a safe place, guys. Okay, what I want for you to understand here is that together as a team, that we are all connected like the ocean. Okay, and if you will just be okay with being vulnerable and be open, there will be a transformational effect that will happen all the way across this panel. Okay, so something that Jason says, as an example, will ripple all the way across like a wave, like dropping a little pebble and going all the way through. Something that Kevin says will ripple all the way through. Something that Mary says will ripple all the way through. Something that Pat says will ripple all the way through. Something that Wes says will ripple all the way through. And together, our collective consciousness is going to go and rise, just like the tide. It's a phenomenon, okay? So what I want to do here, first of all, is go out to Jason. So, Jason, can you unmute yourself?
Hey, Darren.
Okay. So, Jason, maybe to share with us, first of all, give us an idea of, where do you feel that everything is at right now for you as far as, your personal development? Have you gone through the alpha training? Have you gotten to your breakthrough? Do you feel internally in your body? What's happening as far as your lead flow? What's happening as far as your conversions and your upgrades? So give us a sort of little snapshot, and then let's see if together as a team here that we can see what we can do to help out.
Okay, great. Basically, presently at this time, I think my biggest challenge is actually the conversion part and getting my team to upgrade, to take that extra step. I am on a drive for personal development, So getting the team to also focus on personal development and also to become a leader. They struggle with time and working between jobs, which also I work between jobs, and I have 12 hours basically on the road. And by the time I reach home, I have to put in my quota. But some of the team members still do not really put that quota, that sacrifice, basically after work. So I'm mostly focusing on myself, self-development, and I think most of them still in the mindset of the iPass. So it's just for them to get that for upgrading purposes. As for conversion of my leads, um, I had a breakthrough with that because before I actually had my iPass emails and I delete all and I started to manually add one email every day, more about myself and my personal breakthrough and giving a story. And for some reason now, I'm getting more phone calls. I'm getting a lot of people replying to my emails, and then they are commenting and more chatting. Now, some have not signed up as yet, but it's like a relationship building right now. And we are just chatting and talking, and I'm trying to find out what is going on in their life, and I'm trying to find out how could I help them. Maybe I could help them in their business with a blog or maybe the inner circle. So the conversion part, deleting iPass emails and using my personal emails has helped a lot. But right now is to get the team from the iPass into the Empower Network and to be using the inner circle and the blog. So that's
Okay.
my challenge basically.
Okay. So what I want to first of all share with you on this, Jason, is a couple things that you've got to sort of monitor. Okay. So what you've got to do is sort of do a be the observer. Okay. Be the observer. Get emotionally disconnected and just do some data calculations. So here's an example. So start to look at what income level are you attracting into your reality, right? What type of professions are you currently attracting? What is their monthly income range, okay? Now, if you're not clear by writing out my perfect business partners on a page and getting very clear, what do you want? Do you want corporate executives? Do you want business professionals? Do you want married couples? What is your target market? Because until you get clear on what type of a target market that you want to be able to attract, right, you'll attract a bunch of riffraff, okay? And that's the universe testing you on boundaries, okay? So you need to be that person. You need to draw the line in the sand and get very clear, who do I want to partner with, right? And realize that at any point in time, you can totally change your zone that you want to focus on, right? Like some people, as an example, they're single mothers, focus on single mothers. Why? Because they can speak to the listening. Remember I talked about that? Speaking to the listening, right? So in the beginning, you may say, okay, who am I? Who am I? What's my pain that I'm going through, right? Because if I can identify my pain, and if I'm a person that takes action, that does blogging, that taps into the inner circle on a regular basis, there's other people out there just like me, okay? So if all the people that you're attracting are people that don't have time, that would probably be something that you want to put on your perfect business partners list, right? I want people that have, at least 15 hours a week to invest into their business. I want people that realize that their blog is their central hub, and if they're not tapping into the inner circle daily, they're not going to get to their breakthrough. So I want people that are already on the path of personal development, right? Crucial points there. Can you see the difference, right? So if here's an example. For me, okay, my perfect business partner is a person that is already making $100,000 a year. Already, okay? They're already making 100 grand a year. They are typically married. They've got 2 children. They take 2 vacations a year. They got 2 cars, right? They're already on the path of personal development. They may have even been in network marketing or affiliate marketing in the past, and they have a gold, titanium, or platinum credit card. So that's my market, right? So people say, Darren, you know, how did you start in November and hit the top 10 most black card sales? The reason is because that's my market. It's very defined, right? So typically between the husband and the wife, they typically make about 150 grand a year, right? So for them to throw 4 grand on a credit card and have a marketing and advertising budget, it's not that big of a deal, right? Because most businesses, there's very few businesses that you can start, just so you know, for less than 10 grand. Okay, just do a search online. Go, forget about MLM. Let's talk about regular conventional businesses. If you want a little ice cream shop, you're probably looking at a minimum of $60,000, maybe more, right? And if it's a franchise, it might start at 100 grand and up. So realize that if you want to attract the right type of people, you better get clear on who you want to attract. So that's one thing, okay? The other thing is that keep in mind, if your cap, where's your cap right now? Are you in? Do you have top producer formula yet or no?
No.
Okay. So your cap right now, the highest that your reality can start manifesting is really at inner circle, right? So if you want to start to attract a higher resonance, you've got to push up to a higher resonance, right? So the gateway, guys, just so you know, okay, if you don't already know this, I'm going to tell you this right now. The gateway starts at the top producer formula. People say, well, I want to become a top recruiter. Well, have you got the top producer formula? No. That's the gateway. That's where the gateway is, right? So for you right now in your reality, the only thing that you should be thinking about is how can I get to top producer formula, right? Because that's where it starts, right? Now, I will tell you this, that out of all the people that I've seen, you are the most consistent with your blogging, and, you know, quite honestly, for a person that's working a full-time job, I mean, I'm proud of you, man. I mean, I'm serious. Like, you have made a massive transformation just in this last, like, 90 days. You're not even the same person anymore, right? You're moving into leadership, right, which is phenomenal, right? So you got to make sure that you give yourself a pat on the back for that, and you give yourself credit for that, right? Because a lot of people never even get to that point. They never get to consistency, and they never start to apply these strategies. Like, you're one of the very few people that actually did a PowerPoint presentation, right? So I would say to you that if you want people to start to upgrade, right, at least get to top producer formula, because that's the gateway, right? And it's going to give you way more leverage, because here's typically what people will say. Well, Jason, how did you get started? That's what they're going to say. That's what everybody says to me. How did you get started? And I said, well, of course I went black card, and there's no other way to go. I went black card, right? I wanted to start having $3,000 days like the Millionaire mentors teach, so I went black card, right? So what did they say? Okay, I guess I'll do that too then, right? But if they don't say that, they're already on that. They're already wishing that they could be there, right? So if they're not there, they're wishing that they could be there, and they're doing everything that they can to get to black card, right? Because the training, top producer, team building formula, and mass influence, that's the core. That's where you're going to get your university from, right? That's what every person that walked across the stage, every single one, had been through that training. Okay, let's go over to Kevin. Okay, So, Kevin, what I want for you to share with us here, because you got not only yourself but your wife to Nashville, and I want for you to, because you're on a very limited budget too. I realize that, right? But I want for you to share with people what shifted for you. What made you, when you first started, start to liquidate stuff and cash in and say, I'm doing this and that's it, period. What happened for you internally in your body? What happened?
The main thing that happened is, of course, I don't know if I've shared this, but I'm actually college educated, and one thing I didn't want to do was just do factory work all my life, which is why I went to college, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And I've been doing it for a few years, and I've been trying different ways to get out of it, including internet marketing and different things. And it's really hard to explain. It's just right before I started this, I just one day I was just sitting there thinking, and I was like, I'm tired of doing this, and you know, then I just promised myself right there that I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to get out of that situation and be able to live the life of freedom that I want to live, and not waste one more moment just accepting the way things were. And that's the biggest thing. I just, you know, where before I would always just say, okay, I got enough money to do this, or I'll wait until I feel better about this and then I'll do it. This time I just said, no, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm just going to start doing and then adjusting as I go. So that's basically what was going through my mind.
Okay. So what I want for you to do here now is that, because you got the top producer formula, right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
So what I want for you to do is I want for you to share some of the things that have started to shift for you, because you're going through a transformation. You're not even the same person that was here on these Hangouts 30 days ago, right? You're going through this evolution transformation. Are people in your circumference of your contacts, have they commented on anything? Have they, started to say, hey Kevin, something's different, man. Like, what are you doing, right? Has that happened at all yet?
Yeah, actually, it has. You know, some people just said that I'm changing. They didn't necessarily know how, or what the all the details about it were, but they could see a difference in me. And I guess I wasn't. I guess I'm not dragging like I used to. I'm kind of more pepped up on a regular basis, and and it's because I believe it's just like I believe everything's working out exactly the way I want it to work out. And even though I may be struggling at some things, it's like I just got that feeling that everything, even though I'm struggling, everything is going the exact way it's supposed to go, because I feel like the experience of it is a huge part of the process. And it's helping me. The story behind it. I know I have a story that is going to propel me even further once I get through the low points of everything. And it's like I expect to be successful. It's like I don't even question it, even though I may not be having results. I know that my results are coming because I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep striving forward towards what my goals and different things like that.
Okay, so here's what I want for you to just be aware of, okay? Because every time the words come out of your mouth, right, about I am struggling, or even though hear your own words, I am having a hard time, I am struggling, you're putting that into that's the way that it's going to be in the reality. So what I want for you to be aware of, right, is what could you say that is different that would support you going to the next level of your breakthrough? Like you could say that, every day in every way things are getting better and better, right? That would be a more supportive thing to say. You could say to yourself that, every day I'm having another personal breakthrough, right? Every single day I'm learning more and I'm becoming more of a leader, right? That could be your self-talk. You see the difference?
Yes.
Okay, so if you watch, what I want for you to do later, is I'm going to post this into the team group, and I want for you, and I recommend for everybody to do this, guys, and I do this. Do you know that when I do a call, sometimes I listen to my own call 2 or even 3 times? My own call, right? So I can have a breakthrough from me talking to me, right? So when I do stuff, like we'll do this hangout, and I'll be rewatching the hangout after we're done watching the hangout. How about that, right? Because I start to look at my own verbiage, my own self-talk, my own interaction. Does that make sense, guys? And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. So, just be aware, Kevin, of that. I want for you to rewatch yourself and watch you speaking that into your reality. So keep in mind, we're on an energy portal right now, right? Right now, this is an energy portal. We are broadcasting out into the universe, right? From this energy portal right now, okay? So start to be aware of that the moment that you learn one single thing, like this today, we've been talking the last couple of days about speaking your reality into existence. So I've been listening to Dave Wood's Speaking Your Reality into Existence, which triggered my flashback from Dr. Poulos that triggered me to put up a video about a personal breakthrough that I had when I was 30 years old, 20 years ago. Now here's where it gets even better, guys. This is called a sign from the universe when something like this happens. Okay, I had my phone, okay, and I put upload to Facebook, enter, okay, and 10 minutes later it said your video is ready, right, and it appeared on my wall, and I kept on working away, working away. All of a sudden I get another message. Your video is ready. I was like, huh? I already got the video. Now there's 2 copies of the same video on my wall. So I'm working away, I'm thinking to myself, geez, that was really weird. Your video is ready. Now there's 3 versions of the video. I'm not even touching my phone. I'm typing on my computer. So I'm like, that's just weird. So I delete, and now I've got my 1 video. I leave the house and I go to get some lunch, and I go onto my Facebook, and there's 2 more copies on my wall. So that's like, one came up, I deleted 2, and then 2 more came up, right? That's 5 copies of the same video that uploaded onto my wall. Now here's where it gets even more bizarre. The other 2 copies already had likes and comments that were different than all the other versions. How about that? That's like parallel realities, right? And 5 of them uploaded onto my wall, right? So when something like that happens, do you know that I have since gone back and I've watched my own video probably 5 times? Now, why would I do that? Because God, the universe, some other force is trying to send me a message, and I'm listening. So I'm listening to my voice repeat stuff to me, and obviously if it came out 5 times, it's pretty darn important for me to keep on listening to that to get that message. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Because what other reason is that? Holy cow, like the video appeared 5 times on my wall, all with different comments, and I was like, you know, so I've been listening to this video literally over and over, right, to get the message. Okay, let's go over to Mary.
Hello.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say congratulations to you and Pat for, you know, stepping up on your own and just doing that Millionaire mentoring the other night. That was phenomenal, phenomenal.
Thank you. Good job, Pat.
Standing ovation, standing ovation. Okay, so Mary, what I want for you to do right now is just talk to us a little bit about, you know, you're obviously having some breakthroughs because you hit the leaderboards and you hit the top 100 list, right? So that alone is a major milestone. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, first, it's a first for me.
Okay.
I didn't even realize it until you pointed it out. I didn't even realize what had happened until you pointed it out, because it's never happened before.
Okay. So you know, what I want for you to understand here in this whole evolution of what's happening right now, Mary, is that you're going through a massive transformation. You realize that, right?
Oh yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. So, you know, the person that you are now compared to the person that you were just 4 months ago, and 4 months ago in the bigger picture of that timeline is like a little blip compared to the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
Little tiny blip, 4 months compared to, you know, your whole timeline since you've been on the planet. So tell me right now what's happening overall in your business. Who are you attracting? What income levels are you attracting? What are some of the, are there any patterns that are coming up with people? Are there any, that's typically what happens, just so you know, right? Patterns will start to evolve, and those are our reflectors, right? Our reflectors to get us to look back there, to clean up our past so that the gateway will open to go to the next level. So tell me what's happening right now in your business.
Well, what I have noticed is connecting with people, getting them to respond back to me. You know, like to answer my phone calls, to interact with me. Basically, that's really the only thing is that. I mean, I'm getting trial members, I'm getting upgrades to Pro, but there's just the lack of them communicating with me.
Okay.
The lack of response.
Okay.
You know, it's like, it's just mind-boggling to me.
Okay. Now, there's a couple things you know, connected to that, right? And here's one of the things that I'll share with you that's kind of a spillover from Jason, okay? Because what Jason shared with us today is that the moment that he started to open up to his real life, right? Open up to his vision, open up to his dream, open up to share his story, he started to get more interaction. He started to get more connection. He started to get more people respond, right? Now, I want to share with you guys something that happened for me that, quite honestly, was completely shocking. Like, it blew me away, okay? I came out of the elevator to I was walking towards the seminar, right? And somebody who I have never seen before, I don't even know who they are at that point in time. I didn't know who they were. They came over to me like there was like, you know, this look on their face, right? Their face looked up, right? Like, oh my God, right? I was like, what, right? And she comes over and she grabs me like on my arm. She goes, oh my God, I read your blog post about you and your son. And her Pandora's box started to, and she started crying. Now, I'm telling you guys, if that doesn't tell you that your vulnerability is your gateway, then nothing will. Okay? Because that was the real deal. My very first blog post was about me and my boy, and my son, taking him to the exotic car dealerships. When you are prepared to open up your heart and to connect through surrender, to know that you put that on an energy portal and the right people that it needs to hit their heart, it will. And that's when you will start making money. When you can take that lead protector off your heart and be okay with sharing your story. Now, you know, the question is, Mary, are you prepared to do that?
Sure.
Okay. So, you know, so if you look at what happened for Jason, right, he's confirming what I'm saying to be true. Am I correct, Jason?
That's right, Darren.
Okay. So what I want for you guys to understand here is that there is massive strength in vulnerability. And do you know that when some of the speakers got up on stage and their Pandora's box started to erupt and they couldn't hold it back and they started to cry, the crowd stood up and gave them a standing ovation? How about that? The crowd actually stood up and clapped for them to give them all that energy. It was an amazing thing to witness. Guys, you can't replace that type of stuff unless you're there for it. You can't see that. You can't feel the power of 1,500 or 2,000 people cheering for that person that is having their personal breakthrough on that stage. You can't replace that. That's the next level. That's what I'm trying to communicate here. Okay, Pat, are you there? Pat, did we lose you? Okay. So, Mary, share with me then again, you know, as far as, you know, are you having any communication with any of the people that are new members? Because your system should be transferring over your, you know, from your prospects to your new members. So you should be able to communicate with those people at least by email.
Oh, I do. I've been sending them out broadcasts in the GR and the AWeber. I downloaded my partial buyers list, and I downloaded the buyers list, and I uploaded them into another email system so I can email them separately. And I've started emailing the members. My blog posts are Google Hangouts, some of the iPass emails that I get for your daily action stuff. And then the partials, like that Google Hangout that you, All Freedom In, or whichever one it was that you put up there yesterday, I broadcasted that out to my partial buyers and even to just my people in my GR yesterday.
Okay, now
So,
on that note, just so that you're aware, if you do the broadcast on the other Hangout with the All In team, that should be your Empower Network link, not your iPass link.
Yeah, I did my Empower.
Okay, just want to make sure that you're aware of that.
Yeah, I got that. I double checked everything before I broadcasted it out.
Okay.
And then,
so just on that note, because I want to open up this panel here, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you my thoughts, okay? But I want to hear from other people first. Jason, tell me what your intuition is telling you. What is Mary's blocker right now?
I think I kind of lost what Mary was saying just now there, but I believe I was hearing that you are sending out your email to your contact list. Mary?
pardon me?
Could you just repeat what you're saying?
Oh, I broadcast out to my my buyers and my partial list, and then just to the general list. And I'm sending out my my blogs. You know, today I just broadcasted out a couple of articles off my blogs. I'm broadcasting out our Google Hangouts and stuff to the members and the partial buyers, and some of them I'm broadcasting out to everybody in my GR. And then the iPass emails we get for daily action, I've started emailing those, redoing some of those, and sending them out to the members because, you know, just in case they're not getting them. You know, just trying to get them, you know, to interact.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question to you, Jason, is what, you know, this is just intuition here, okay? Because I want for you guys to start to trust your own intuition, okay? Whatever's going on in your mind of what's happening in Mary's reality is probably correct. So what did your intuition tell you of what's happening in Mary's reality where the people, there's a disconnect somehow? What do you feel is causing that?
The emails, to one extent, can be just generic, more just almost in a pitching line, but telling a story and open up yourself and connecting. For me, I also try to copy the person's email and look for them on Facebook and send them a quick message and connect with them and start a chat. I always try to find some way to connect with them, either it's family, is it a job, or any type of connection. So the hangouts and stuff are good, all the different emails are good, but in the end, it's almost close to pitching. Well, for me, until I can build a relationship with them and I can send that same email, I get better response. They actually open the mail. The ones who I actually chat with on a frequent basis and connect with are the ones who actually open all my emails and click right through.
Okay, so here's what I want to share with you is that, and maybe, you know, you may or may not be aware of this, Mary, of something that you sent to me, but you've sent two different occasions where you have talked about helping another person be able to get upgrades.
Oh my God, yeah, I've done that quite a few times.
Yeah. So you have to understand what's happening there on a core level, because, you know, that's all around deservability and worthiness, because the wealth is going around you, but yet you as a leader can help another person get a black card sale. You as the leader can help another person upgrade their people, and there's no problem there, because the money's not going to you, it's going to somebody else. You see how that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to be aware of these things that are happening, because it's like the rock in the river, right? The raging whitewater rapids can only polish the rock, right? But it's not until you get into your surrender and your vulnerability that that rock can turn into the sponge and then get bigger and have the water flow through it, right? Right now, the water's going right around you, right? So what it can do is it can get you frustrated, and maybe
I
that.
don't feel frustrated.
Okay, if that and that's fine too. That's fine too. But all I'm saying to you is that, look at be the observer, right? Disconnect from yourself, be the observer, and look at what's going on, to look at if there's any patterns. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's no link there. But isn't that a disconnect? Isn't that, if you can help somebody else go black card, but there's a disconnect within your own wealth creation, that's a parallel disconnect. There's some sort of a disconnect between you and your vulnerability with your team to get them to connect with you, but yeah, you can do it for somebody else, right? I'm just throwing it out there, right? Just something to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat, how are you? Okay, you're still muted there, Pat.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Okay, Pat, so what's going on, young lady? You're muted again.
Technical genius. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
No, first of well, it's very interesting to speak at these things after hearing you coach everybody on our speaking. So I've noticed that I have periods where, well, I've noticed that ever since I've been on this team, I have gotten more real in my videos. I talk more about, my reality as far as being bipolar. I talk and this, struggle to keep it going and make it happen. Nobody never knew that about me, but I wasn't like a victim. I was like very much like, this is what's happening, or this is a part of who I am, and how I'm using it now in my business, by being on this team. So I'm talking about it more, and I feel much better. And when you guys were away in Nashville on Sunday, like something kept urging me, that feeling, step up to the ladder, step up to the plate, step up to the plate. And I knew, I had a good feeling you weren't going to be able to do the Millionaire mentoring, but I was home, and I got on the email to you, and I sent you a thing, and I said, should I do the Millionaire mentoring because you're not going to be here? And you said, yeah, go for it. And I was like, oh shit, as soon as you said that, like, yeah, go for it, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do now? Like, now I really have to do it. So I caught Mary, and Mary was taking a bath. Like, she didn't have any idea that I was sending her this, message. And, long story short, we did it together. And, we got likes and comments, but I think more than that, it was just the fact that we did it. We broke that, we broke that, we broke the ice, and we did it. And for me, it was great because I was scared to do it, even though I had done it before. And I enrolled another person in doing it with me. So now the next level is to go up. And then from all that, what I've noticed is that my results aren't great, and the reason my results aren't great is because I don't blog. You know, I haven't blogged, and I could have taken all those videos and all that experience and turned them into blog posts and put them out all over social media. So I do one thing and then I close down. I do one thing and then I close down. I don't have consistency.
Okay.
However,
that's very easy to fix, though, Pat. That's the thing that you just got to understand. The first part is just the recognition, right? So, okay, so let's say that that's the case, okay? So just get a piece of paper, right, and put on here, you know, create video, with whatever the message is that you want, right? If you want to go even one step further, is to go into the Google keyword research and to find out a specific phrase that you can see that it, you know, at least has 1,000 you know, searches per month, and then put that in, and then put it back into the keyword search, and then go down another level, and then you can go even down another level, and then get some phrase that you want to talk about in the video, right? So that's going to help you to get ranking. So if you're doing, just so you guys know, if you want to get the most amount of traffic out of your videos and your blog posts, okay? The first thing regarding your video is that you want to have the keyword phrase right in the title, and then you want to take your video that you're doing, and you want to make sure that very close to the front of the video you've got that keyword title, and then a few times in through the video, and then you want to send that off to Fiverr and have them transcribe it and put the whole video message into your subject.
wow,
Into your description, right? So it's on your video, and then your whole script is now in your description part.
wow,
Make sense?
yeah,
Okay. The other thing that you want to do as well in the description is you want to take the video URL where it's going to be, okay, your video URL from YouTube, and you want to post that into your description. You want to post that into your description. The other thing is that you've got to understand this about Google's for blog posts. If you're looking to do a specific keyword phrase, okay, it has to be in an H1, an H2, and an H3 as far as your size, right? It also has to be in bold, it has to be in underline, and it has to be in italics. Okay, so you have to have all of those if you're going to start to work on SEO, okay?
For video or for blogs?
For blogs.
Oh.
H1, H2, H3, bold, underline, and italics. You have to have all of those with your key phrase if you want to start getting SEO ranking, okay? And then because you embed a YouTube video and it's a high PR ranking, it's going to boost your blog post, right? So those are all some certain things. Now, the stuff that I've been doing has just been from my heart, but I've built up enough of a list on Facebook. It's almost 11,000 now. So that's one of my broadcast networks, is my Facebook. Another one of my broadcast networks is my list that's probably about 17,000 now, right? Because now I'm starting to use paid traffic to build up that list, right? Anyway, so, but what I was going to suggest to you on your side, Pat, is that don't you see a similarity with what you're talking about right now with your bipolar thing? It's parallel. They're parallel. Right? I'm on and then I'm off. I'm on and then I'm off. That's the same thing that you're going through with your emotions, right?
Right.
You see the parallel there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can, okay, so here's an example. Let's say, as an example, that you know a week in advance that you're going to run out of your meds. get into the habit of drawing a line in the sand, and right then, when you know you only have 1 week left, to renew your prescription and not have a situation where you're sending me a message saying, Darren, I ran out of my meds. Well, really? You know that that's an issue. How long is it going to take you to get things back in order? So make that part of your mandatory baseline, right? Like as an example, if my socks, my dress socks, get to a certain point, I throw them out. If I can see that they're worn on the bottom and they're going to start to rip, I throw them in the garbage can and I go get brand new socks. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's like my baseline, right? In the event that my underwear doesn't feel right, I throw them all out and I go get a whole slew of new ones, right? Because that's my baseline, right? If my socks and underwear aren't just feeling awesome, it can wreck my whole day. I mean, it can literally put me in a tailspin if my socks and underwear is not right, right? That's true story. Okay, let's go over to Wes here.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go over to Wes then.
Hey, what's going on, Darren?
Hey, Wes. Okay, so Wes, what I want for you to chat about really here quickly is tell me what shifted for you, because something shifted big time in the last week or so. Tell me what's happened.
Well, one of the first things is, just getting my ego out of the way has been one of the biggest things, and I'm doing every morning, every night, I'm doing the mirror techniques. I'm focusing on my vision board, and I'm doing proclamations, and I'm changing my state. So I'm changing it every morning, every night, and so that's something that I've been consciously doing to make my subconscious go with it. And so that's probably the biggest thing that's shifting for me, is just my belief in myself, and I believe it now. I believe that anything is possible. I believe that, within a month I'll be making $5,000. I don't know how. I'm brand new at this, but I just believe it. And so it's a total change in belief that has really happened over the last week.
Okay, well that is really good news. So, guys, what I want to do here is I'm going to show you a really quick snapshot here. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, and either way, I just want to show you this one more time because I want for you to start to think like this. Okay. Now, this particular funnel is going to go right into Empower. Okay. So basically, here's how this works. Now, what I want for you guys to understand is that if you're just getting people into iPass and nobody's buying your Empower Network products, that's where all the money is, right? So the reason that I wanted to do this, now keep in mind, everything in marketing is all about testing. I have no idea what's going to happen here, okay? As an entrepreneur, this is how far I will go to test something. Okay, so I went out and I had some graphics done right here, right? Which is step up to freedom, turn your passion into profit, okay? So I went and paid for a graphic designer to make this, okay? I also had a graphic designer make this. This is called personal branding, okay? Now, I will be doing this presentation. If you were doing something like this, you would be branded here as well for yourself, okay? So you would put yourself here for this particular type of picture, okay? I give away a bonus to get people to stay and watch the entire presentation. There's a psychological reason for this because I want to lasso them right to the very, very end where I'm going to talk about my offer. Notice how much the bonus is. It's almost $300 and there's no purchase necessary. I do that for a reason, guys, okay? Because I want to create a huge amount of value so that they know that they're getting $300 for free and they don't have to buy anything just for showing up, because 80% of success is about showing up. Okay, what is the real product in network marketing and direct sales? I believe it's leadership. I believe that this should be your number one purpose in this industry, is to be able to raise your vibrational frequency and step into a leadership role by learning something, implementing it to get some data, and sharing your results. Focusing on the problems and providing a solution to the problem. Okay, so the whole purpose of this campaign is to have people realize that it's truly about creating content, okay? If you are not creating content in your business to help other entrepreneurs to, alleviate the pain that they're going through with not having enough contacts to talk to, burning through and getting rejected by their warm market, not knowing how to generate leads, not knowing what to post on Facebook, if you are not generating content, then you're stuck, okay? Content changes everything, okay? And this is the core message that I want for people to understand about this campaign, is that if you want to stop doing three-way phone calls and home parties, and you're not creating any content, then you're just a pitch person, okay? And people stop listening to pitch people after a while. So you've got to provide value, and you've got to solve people's problems. Okay, those are the two most important things to know as a leader. If you aren't doing these, you will not become the attractor factor. So if you're not providing value and you're not solving people's problems, you will not have your phone ringing with incoming phone calls. Okay, you will not have autopilot signups. Okay, now how are you going to do that? You're going to do that with a central hub to provide the value from, right? So when you do a video, post it on your blog and then post it onto social media. When you want to send a message out with a blog post, do it on your blog and post it onto social media. Tweet it, right? If you want to be able to do some training about a subject, do it on your blog, post it onto social media, and tweet it, right? Get into the habit of doing that. You can even do a Pinterest. You can pin something that goes back to your blog. You can do an Instagram message that goes back, that clicks back to your central blog. That's all stuff that you can do with online. Okay, now I want for you to see this, because when you get the visual of this, you'll really understand what goes on in my mind, okay? Because my goal, guys, is cracking the code, the Rubik's Cube. I want to be able to create visuals so people can look at this and they can get it in one shot. Okay, so here's how it works. You start off with a $19.95 affiliate fee to join, to be able to make money from what? A blog. It costs $25 and it pays $17.50 per month per person. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about Kalatu and how it's so easy for even grandma to be able to do, and it's got all the plugins and everything all in there, and we make it for the mass market, because it's not about what you can do, it's what can your people do. Then we move up into the Inner Circle Mindset training. The cost is $100 a month. It pays you a $7 commission. That right there, those two things right there, I'm going to show you how you can make $100 grand from those two things. But the gateway, guys, is here. It's the top producer formula. That should be your number one goal for you and every single person on your team, to get them through that top producer formula. Okay, so that's really the business. This is a business. Now, I will tell you that in North America, the average business opportunity is $500. How much is the top producer formula? $500. The rest of that stuff is all personal development. The blog, which is going to showcase your breakthrough, the Inner Circle Mindset that's going to feed you with that millionaire mindset stuff. That's all personal development stuff. So if you look at the cost of the top producer formula, it's at the average price of the average North American business opportunity. Now, once you go through that, everything else becomes easier. That's why it's a stair down to the team building formula, which costs $1,000, and it's going to now pay you $700 commissions, right? And then we've got the mass influence formula that costs $3,500 that pays a $3,000 commission. Now, if you total all those products up, it's $5,145. I want for you guys to really understand this. That's what I paid. Okay, we didn't have all these other products. I bought these one at a time when they came out. So I paid $5,145 to start my business. Okay, it's very important that you guys get that this discount that's going on right now has just been introduced recently. The rest of us that were in the company before that, we paid over $5,000 to start our businesses. Okay, now you will notice that the people that paid that $5,000 are all have, you know, we've got all those people, the millionaires. How about that? How about that? The people that paid the most amount of money for the products are all those people that have crossed the stage right now as $1 million income earners. There's 15, and they all paid $5,145. Okay, I'm going to show you how just using this that you can get to $100,000 a year, and that right there is the gateway. Once you get this formula, everything becomes easy. Now, if you just had the blog, right? The goal is to get to $8,333 a month. And now if you just use the blog with $1,750 commission per month per person, you would need a team of 477 people. Now compared to the 15,000 or 20,000 people that you would need to make the same amount of money, that's not really a lot of people. But I'm going to show you how to totally crush that number down. If you sponsor 9 people that are tired of doing 3-way calls and home parties and step up, you're going to assemble your board of directors. You know, this is how I build real companies, guys. So if you put your mind into not thinking about this just like a MLM type thing, and you think about yourself building a real company, now you're going to step up, and all these people don't have to come all from you, because sale 1, 3, 5, and every 5th sale are passed up from your team. So doesn't that make those 9 people a lot easier when you don't even have to get them all yourself? Because they're going to be passed up from your teammates too, right? So that's crucial to understand that. Okay, so you got your blog. You're going to step up to the inner circle, and that's going to pay another $70 a month. So now you got $87.50 per month per person. That means you only need 95 people to make $100,000 a year. Now compare that to the 20,000 people that people need in other companies. That 95 people, I'm going to show you how to squash that 95 down even less than that. Okay, now watch this. 95 divided by 3, 1, 3, and 5 come from each person, is now down to 32. 32 people with a blog and inner circle, right? Now I'm going to squash that number down even further because that's only one level. Watch this. 32 people divided by 3, that means if I have 11 people in my pay line and I help them to get qualified with 1, 3, and 5, I'm halfway there. I take my next group of people, I help them get 1, 3, and 5, and I'm making $100,000 a year. Holy cow, are you for real? Guys, this is like the gateway. This is how I made like $185,000 in Explosial with this formula here, right? And I figured out how I could tweak it and get back to this one to make this work so people can really see this. Now, I've helped some people be able to do this in 30 to 90 days, okay? And this is a true story. You know, one person, their first month, they made $7,500 using this formula. Another person, their second month, made $11,500. In my story, it took me like 40 some odd days to get to over $12,000. Now, why is that? Because my subconscious mind is only thinking about the number 11. Okay, I only got to get 11 people into my inner circle, and then I move into leadership and helping them. Right? Can you see how easy that is? Now, the average person can look at that and go, you know what? I can do this. Right? Now, watch how this works. I can show a person how to generate a $2,000 monthly marketing budget with only 23 people. But watch me squash that number down. 2,000 divided by 8750 is 23. 23 divided by 3 is 8. If they have 8 people in their pay line and they help those people get qualified, they now have an extra $2,000 a month to invest into their business in paid marketing. This is called a blueprint. And this helps people to realize how simple it is to use that inner circle mindset training with a blog and help them to tap into that 6-figure mindset. Okay. So watch this. Watch how you're going to step up to freedom and turn your passion into profit. Here's how it goes. Okay. So you start off with a blog, right? Sharing your passion, sharing your vision. You get 9 sales, and now you're going to step up to the inner circle. That's where you're really going to tap into your personal power to get to your breakthrough. Now your goal is that you're going to get 9 sales, and now you're going to step up into the top producer formula. Once you've got the top producer formula, that's your true gateway. Now you only need 6 sales to get to the team building formula, and another 7 sales to start making $3,000 commissions. Now when people see this little formula here, it makes it very easy for their subconscious mind to be able to believe that they can actually do it. Now this is something, a bonus that I'm offering for all-in team members. I would encourage you guys that if you want to truly take your life to the next level, you got to start to think about this type of stuff, guys, okay? You got to start to think about what's going to be your special sauce. You know, Pat, as an example, might want to do something, you know, once she starts rolling out a lot more videos and gets known for her videos on how to build your business through video. That could be her bonus, right? So this, for me, is sort of the thing that I focus on. This is my special sauce, which is more about quantum physics and things of that nature. This is what has really worked for me to get me branded in the industry, which is, you know, the quantum physics, right? Helping people to learn how to manifest. So then I give a couple of testimonials from the team. Chad Turner went from a complete flat start to having $3,000 days in his first 90 days after going through the bonus training. He now has his own students ranking in the top 100 affiliates. Rex Harris went from 10 years of struggle to buying a new home and consistently making 5 figures a month. After going through the bonus training, he just had a $5,000 day. So after this part, we'll probably have about 10 testimonials. They'll be from, you know, people, that students of mine that have written their own books now, that have, you know, become, like Eric Green as an example. Him and Ray Dietrich just had a $60,000 month. And then it will loop back around to say you can get started now for as low as $44.95. Get back the person that invited you here, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that gives you an idea sort of where this is going. So can you guys see how that really breaks it down for people, and how it can make it a lot easier for people to be able to sort of digest how to roll this out?
It's awesome. Simple.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm fired up about it. So anyway, so that's pretty much a wrap here for tonight, guys. We went a little bit over time, but hopefully you got some good value from tonight. And you know, I think what you're going to find as we do more of these is you guys individually are going to be able to listen to a person, and you're going to be able to tell them what they need. Does that make sense? Can you guys see how that's starting to happen even on these couple ones that we've done, where, you know, one person talks and then the next person, and you can see what the other person's personal breakthrough needs to be, or what they need to focus on, or that they need to get to their surrender, they need to open up their heart, right, or whatever, or, you know, maybe they need to tell their story more, or You know, maybe they're not stepping into a leadership role and that's the next level for them. Can you guys see that now listening to other people?
I can see it.
Okay, because here's what I want for you guys to understand here. You don't have to be a millionaire to be a millionaire mentor. But you do have to understand the stuff that I'm talking about. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Because see, you know, in a very, very short period of time here, like maybe even like 30 or 60 days, you guys are going to be able to do your own mentoring for your own students, right? And then come back to get more juice, and then go back to work on your special sauce, and then come back to get more juice, and then go back to work on your special sauce, and next thing you know, you are going to be that person that's offering the bonus. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Right? Keep in mind, this is all about morphing, molding, sculpting, until finally, you know, we've got Chad Turner with his tweet magic, and, you know, Pat's got her, you know, video formula, and, you know, whatever, right? So that's how it all evolves. So what you have to do as a marketer is to look at a whole menu and go, okay, what do I resonate with? Do I resonate with video? Do I resonate with Facebook chat? Do I resonate with blogging? Do I resonate with Google Hangouts? What am I good at? Right? And then focus on that. Like for me, here's what I can tell you. I probably get the most amount of autopilot signups from this type of stuff. Because this is now going to get cloned all over YouTube, right? And people are going to watch it. And when they start watching it, they get pulled right in, right? And then underneath, there's a link, and they end up clicking it, and boom, they sign up while I'm sleeping. So this right here becomes a huge recruiting tool for me, right? And if I go into a PowerPoint presentation and I'm getting value between me talking to the person and them watching my PowerPoint, by the time they've watched 2 or 3 of these, they feel like I'm like their best friend type thing. I mean, I've had people say, Darren, I watched your videos the whole weekend. So what do you think that person's thinking when they talk to me after that on the phone? They're talking to a long-lost friend. See how that works? Make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Makes
Awesome.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes. Thanks a lot for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP Millionaire Mentoring session. If you right now are a person that is in transition, or you're in a breaking point, maybe you're being underpaid at your current job, maybe something has happened in your life, it's a life tragedy, maybe you got a divorce, right? Maybe your parents just died. Maybe something happened in your life to alter your path, to shock your system, where you realize that you've got to do something differently if you're going to have freedom for you and your family. And if that sounds like you, click the link below, take action, and we'll see you on the other side. Have a great day.